Good morning and welcome. You got to punch the magic button.
I did. I got to start us off today. Happy Mother's Day to me.
Happy Mother's Day. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock. We are broadcasting out of Woodstock, Illinois. So I don't know where you might be, but we're all on the path of growth and learning and breathing into expressing who we are in each moment, aren't we?
We certainly are. And were you going to tell them? Are we going to tell them who we are?
We will tell them who we are.
Okay. Yeah. And who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Go ahead.
My name is MaryPatriece Raupp. I'm the spiritual leader here.
And I'm Reverend Tom, and it's a pleasure to be here on Mother's Day and to join you all.
Welcome. It may not be as sunny outside as we would like it to be, but it can be as bright as it can be within us each and every moment. So we're so grateful for you being here and joining us. And today is Mother's Day. And we're thrilled that this is an opportunity we get to celebrate in a different way. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and do our unity principles, our 5 unity principles, which is the basis of what unity is founded on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. The Christ Spirit lives within me. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I experience God's presence and power through prayer and meditation. I put my faith into action by demonstration.
And of course, you do know that it is Mother's Day, and the title of our talk today is Mother's Day, Memories, Mimosas, and More. And I have to tell you, being one of 9 children growing up, gosh, I don't remember there was ever the thing called a mimosa when we were young, but I am only guessing that my mom probably would have liked to start out those days with one because it was never an easy day. There wasn't a day where we ever took a break from arguing and bickering and going on and on and on, and it was just kind of a contained chaos in our life. You know?
I only had one sibling, but it seems to me that there was ample arguing, and bickering is a good word for it. And what do you remember that looking like back then?
Oh my gosh. The day would start out with a good thought. But we just couldn't get it together. It could be one person wanted to upstand someone else and how they cared about mom, or
right now, it was really my turn to speak now, and you just went right over me. You always try to get your way.
I don't always try to get most times, but not always.
Oh, and you know what? Your mom's favorite too. Everyone knows that. Everyone in the neighborhood knows your mom's favorite.
Well, of course I should be her favorite. I'm me, Why? What's there not to love, right?
Well, I remember, at your last birthday, I remember you got this great big dollhouse and this beautiful doll, and all I got was a truck for my birthday.
Yeah, you got a truck, but do you remember what you did with it?
Well, it was a nice one of those big Tonka trucks.
Yeah, it was a big Tonka truck. Yeah, you ran into my dollhouse with your Tonka truck.
I did, but that was an accident.
Oh, no, it wasn't an accident. There was nothing about that. Yeah. That was an accident.
And as soon as I ran into it, as usual, you yelled out, Mom!
Yeah, that's what it sounded like back then. Can you relate?
Yeah.
Do you have memories that are similar, or what would those be for you?
Well, all families had their stuff. They had their, moms and dads, they tried as hard as they could, but nobody ever trained them how to be a mom or dad. With my family, what was very important was the image that everything was wonderful in the house by making everything outside the house absolutely perfect. The lawn, the bushes, house was painted. My mom and dad's favorite saying was the best looking house on the block kind of thing. So it was about images with them. How about you?
For my family, of course, there were 9 of us kids. When we were home, it was go outside and play. When we were in public, it was very important for us to look like we were controlled and polite and, following the rules at all times. You sit and you don't move until an adult tells you you can. But at home, it was pretty much chaos. It was always something going on, someone fighting, someone running outside or leaving the door open. There was always something going on.
And of course, our purpose in reminiscing is to help you think about and reflect on your mom and your families and the many Mother's Days you've had with and sometimes now without our moms.
Yeah, and I was actually listening to a talk given by Wayne Dyer this week, and he shared about a presentation that he gave, and he said that while he was growing up, his dad left the family, and so his mom couldn't take care of the kids. So he spent some time in foster homes. After the presentation, someone came up to him and said, "Oh my goodness, that must have been a horrible experience, you being in foster homes. I can't even imagine what that would be like." And he looked at her and he said, "No, actually not. It just was. It was what happened." And it wasn't until I was 40 and looked back and said, "That was terrible." But in the moment, it's just what you know. It's how life is, and you don't question it. You just assume everything is the same for everyone else.
So on this Mother's Day, Wayne could reflect back on, were he still alive, could reflect on a number of mothers that he had. And, I'm wondering what his memories of his moms are, and I'm wondering what all of his moms' memories are of raising him. And to me, it points out we can have moms other than our birth mom in many ways. There may be teachers that seem like moms or other mentors that seem like moms, and each of them provided us something of what they needed to grow up. When I think of my mom, something I needed to grow up to be kind of well-adjusted and relatively functional in society, but not everything, that's for sure. But when you're growing up, that's all you know.
It is.
And then it's later you realize, we had some issues there.
Yeah. I don't know of anyone who has come out of the perfect home yet. I haven't met them yet, but it's a possibility. There's always the possibility for that, correct? So we don't all have stories about our moms or being a mom, but we can reflect on today. I mean, for me, being a mom was, it was challenging. As a single mom, I did some things really well. I made homemade bread, I kept the roof over our heads, I made homemade chicken soup, and some of the staples that my kids still love today. And in other ways, I know that I wished I could have shown up a little bit differently. The worries about paying the bills or being able to keep our house or making sure we had enough groceries took so much of my thinking and my feelings away that I know I wasn't as available to them as I would have liked to have been.
And what we don't know, I think, about about our moms is, what were their thoughts? I mean, we know the outward expression of what they were thinking, but your kids didn't understand or didn't know how important it was for you, that they stay in the same house their whole life, while they were growing up, and all the things you did and how hard it was to do that. So it might be something to reflect on too. And I remember when I think I was in elementary school, and some of you have heard this story before, but it seems worth telling to me. Christmas time, walking into the local Carson Peary Scott store and going to the jewelry counter and buying my mom a Christmas pin, this huge, I don't know if it's fair to say that a Christmas pin could be ugly, but this thing was, I think it was a ton of rhinestones of different colors, and I remember proudly taking it up to the counter and the sales lady saying, "Oh, is this for your mom?" And I said, "Yes," and she said, "Well, I'm sure she's going to really like it." Maybe thinking, oh, that poor mom. I don't know. But my mom wore that pin, I'll say, religiously, at least that Christmas. And people would ask her, probably because they saw what it looked like, oh, is that pin a gift? And she would say, yes, Tom bought it. Tommy bought it for me. I was Tommy back then. And so in that way, it's like my mom was my hero and my support. And I also recall later in life, when I was too old to do that, I should have known better, but I was rather immature in my early 20s. And my future wife at that time, Mary Jo, who is now deceased, and I were going to attend a Halloween party, and it was my idea that we should go as ballerinas. So I just asked my mom, can you make us both tutus? Like it was nothing. And she did. And I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And so whenever I think of my mom's shortcomings or maybe her challenges, I need to think of those things too. And what were the thoughts in her mind when to be such a great mom that she would do those things for me and for my sister too. So I'm wondering if you could be thinking about those things regarding your mom during these Mother's Days too. Where did she really stand out? Even though, there were areas where they had challenges.
Oh,
but,
sure.
so did I as a dad, which we'll talk about on Father's Day, I think. So,
Well, that'll be a long service.
See what I mean? This is just like when you're kids. I'm telling you.
But, I do think today brings about opportunities for me to think. And what is it that reminds me of my mom? I really do. One of the things that reminds me of my mom is the smell of coffee in the morning. She loved coffee. And she used to make bread too, but she also used to make homemade donuts. And we would just gobble those things up as soon as they came out of the fryer. And she never complained about that. But she, there were so many opportunities too where, I didn't feel as close to her as I would have liked. So today, when we think about it, think about your experiences with your mom or someone who is mother-like to you. And the whole idea about today is appreciate the moments that really blessed you. Appreciate them and share the same for other people around you. And even take the moments that didn't bless you and turn them around and be that for someone else. Be that moment for someone else if you can. Whether they're related to you or not. Maybe it's just someone you work with that you can be sort of a mom figure to or a mom influence, not necessarily someone that they have to come and talk to, but that you can be that mom moment of love for them.
And when you were mentioning for your kids you made bread, and I was thinking of the idea, we all have a language of love. And what was your mom's language of love? Like, what did she do for you that now, especially on reflection, was something that was special to her to do for you? For mine, it was cooking. It was food. In many ways, I remember homemade donuts. She had this thing where you filled with batter and you push it down and one donut falls into the hot oil. And I just remember the smell and then the taste of a donut fresh out of that oil.
Yeah, good.
My goodness. And do you have any of your mom's recipes around the house? Yeah. We have, I still make my mom's spaghetti sauce, which is really tasty. Good. And what do we have from you have some, your bread recipes are from the past, aren't they?
No, not from her.
Okay.
No, but my chicken soup recipe
That's right.
Sure, yes.
Dynamite chicken soup.
Yeah.
So those are ways of celebrating Mother's Day on more than one day a year, I think, too, don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, especially on a day like today. Wouldn't a nice big pot of chicken soup do well? I think so. So we're so grateful for the day. We're grateful for the opportunity to think about those motherly qualities that have blessed us and the qualities that maybe we'd like to bring more into the world, especially right now. I mean, the moments where people need that, I can't think of a time that it's just as important as now to share that with others. Share it with your family, share it with people you don't even know, and be that presence, the presence that you want to be or you see the need for more of.
And I think before we close, I think what I'm going to suggest is, we have this routine here, but it's still so new without anybody here. Sometimes we skip a step or two.
We do.
And maybe we could,
That's
we could
Go back
do a
little
prayer or now or something.
Oh,
What do
you could.
And then maybe do some other things that
Let's
perhaps
do a
we're off the
Mother's Day
radar.
prayer. I'm going to let you do a Mother's Day
You're
prayer.
going to let me do a Mother's Day prayer?
Just to bless all of us,
Okay,
so we don't
okay.
have to work at it.
No, well, that's true. That's true. So why don't we all just sit back for a minute, take a breath, take a great big inhale and exhale. And Mom, this one's for you. Thank you for all the times that you gave when I didn't realize it. Thank you for all the sacrifices you made that seemed like the way it ought to be, unappreciated at the time. Thank you, Mom, for the sweet spirit of love that was at your core. And know that you are appreciated for all those times, even when that spirit of love was difficult for you to express. Even at our advanced ages today, our adult lives today, you are with us. You are with us in memory and influences. And we take those influences you provided us that lead us into health and happiness and wellness and satisfaction. And we say thank you for those gifts you've given so freely. And for those times you were challenged with us, we give thanks for those too, for it brings clarity to what we can be as caring mothers and caring adults, caring parents. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for all you gave. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. And if any part of this talk inspired you or touched your heart, if you feel moved to, we would be so grateful to accept your contribution at our website, and it's unitywoodstock.org. We're so grateful to have the opportunity to be here and to share the messages with you that we do. Okay.
So are we ready to close now?
Well, we have our prayer for protection, and
we do.
We have a special. You were going to forget that, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
And we have a special signing off today, so hang on for that. Are you ready?
I'm
Let's
ready.
do our prayer for protection. The light of God
surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so on this Mother's Day, I wish to say to all your mothers, all you mothers, Mama stay.
And if that Mother's Day falls during a pandemic, I can't say a word anymore, we say,
Mama stay at home.
Mama stay home. Please join us for our Zoom meeting afterwards to share your thoughts and your memories about Mother's Day.
Absolutely. It'll take a couple minutes to get it set up, but we'll be there. We look forward to seeing you all And do I get to sign us off?
Oh, all right.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Take care.